Good evening, everybody in the Canadian business and US social share group. Hello, I am so excited. Samantha Glass here with you live. For those that don't know me, I'm one of the admins here in the group. I'm also on the Samantha Glass Show and owner of SFG Paralegal Services. But enough about me. This interview is not about me. This is a spotlight engagement interview. It is the member of the week. I am so excited, and I just met her now, and she's amazing. It's Asifa Baig from Gen Next Chartered Professional Accountants. Please check out the link above or next to the video, and you're going to get to know more about her. So post your questions, comments below so we can interact with you, and I'm going to be watching them and calling them out for us to answer. So welcome tonight. Thank you for being here with me live.
Thank you, Samantha. It's amazing. You know what? I had no idea what I was doing, but I didn't. You noticed, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad to meet everyone. You know, there's lots of postings that go on, but it's nice when we can put a name, a face to a name, right? So I'm happy to meet you and everyone as well.
You too, you too. So let's start out first by, what was the importance? Because you got member of the week. You actually were member of the last 30 days, really. So we took the numbers from the last 30 days and we were awarded 2 members, one for the most comments and one for the most likes. So why do you think it's important to engage with people in this group, for example, or engage on Facebook?
So, I think it's incredibly important. And let me tell you, I, just like everyone else, I am so busy that, there's so many times I'm going through and I'm kind of going, okay, Asma, get to work, right? The thing is, these days there's no doubting that a lot of the work is starting to come from social media engagement, right? We're all, most of us, some of us are paying for social media engagement to different packages. But I really think that, and sometimes it's a little risky putting yourself out there as an accountant, but I really believe that, when people, first of all, I think just supporting entrepreneurs, supporting each other is so important. And hearing someone else's story, watching some other stuff gives people hope. I think there's a lot of budding entrepreneurs. And so as busy as I am, I try and take time, and that's like literally, I feel like I want to go back to every day's posts and, go back and acknowledge everybody, go back and like theirs. And it's supporting each other, but let's not make any mistake about it. This is business. And I have to thank Iram Zara as well for starting this group. She's absolutely, what a trailblazer she is, amazing. So I just think, I think it's good to engage, good to get to know each other, but, connect the names with the faces. And who knows? And, the one thing, Samantha, I don't know if you noticed, engagement doesn't mean instant business always, right? And it doesn't have to, and I never look at it like that. I always look at about building relationships, so I'm always open to people giving me a call if they have a question, because I was like that with the lawyers. I was like, man, all I have is a couple of questions, can't I just call somebody?
Definitely.
Right. So I just think it's important to support each other, and it's good for business.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I totally agree with you. I just want to give a shout out. I can see Sadia Mahmood. I actually know Sadia quite well. So thank you for watching, and for everyone else that's watching. If you have any questions, whether you're watching us live or on the replay, please indicate, let us know now, or indicate replay, ask your questions. We'll circle back and be happy to answer them. So let's get to know more about you. So you told me something very interesting. So we know that you are from Gen Next Chartered Professional Accountants, but how did you start? Like you mentioned before we got on the interview, something that you did before you started this business. So can you tell us a bit about your background and why you got into this as an entrepreneur?
Sure. So I was working with the provincial, after I got my chartered accountant certification. I went to the provincial government. I was there for 16 years, had a fantastic career and working amazing projects, senior management roles. But, we all, I don't know, people out there listening, and perhaps yourself as well, when we're working for someone else, we do our best. I think, there's another term, it's entrepreneurship, right? But there's another term called intrapreneurship. And that's where, like, you could actually sort of have like entrepreneurship type things going on within organizations. So I had a great career, but I just felt like, yeah, I was a pretty spiritual person. I just felt like I was ready. I had so much experience, so much to offer something I felt like I could do. And, we always say, whenever we're at a job, we always say, I work really hard. They don't pay me enough. They don't value me enough, right? So, this is entrepreneurship is where, now it's I'm it. I'm it. It's me. It's so if I used to pull all-nighters for other people all my life, now if I'm working hard and pulling all-nighters, it's for myself, it's for my own business. And I just felt like I'm building a different kind of practice, Samantha. So Gen Next, right? Gen Next starts for Generation Next.
Nice.
Our tagline is transitioning you into the new economy. So I really believe that things are changing. Things are changing so fast, and we've seen with COVID, exponentially things are changing. So while a lot of companies have had downturns, there's a lot of industries that are more digitally, sort of in the digital way, working in that zone that have really, really increased. So really looking at my clients to see it's not just about bookkeeping and accounting. It's like getting your numbers right, and then it's like how do we get you to the next level, leveraging technologies, leveraging just good reporting and, good management skills.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing.
Mhm.
And you were mentioning also about your growth of your business and how you actually work with others within the same industry. And how do you do that? If there's
Yeah,
any
so
other
it's
counterparts?
these days I've always been so one of the things I think, and it's important from an entrepreneurship perspective, because I'm sure lots of people getting started or hopes to get started. For me, it was always important. I believe keeping fixed costs down is really important. Okay. Because especially, and we saw like in this environment, just what we've been through, if you had a high, like, really large fixed costs, that's when businesses got into trouble. So I've been building my business, and I literally started from scratch. And I mean, I'm a chartered accountant. Principally, I know everything that needs to be done. But when you're actually doing it, you've got systems, you've got different applications you're working with, software. It's madness, trying to start a new business. But one of the things I did was when I transitioned, I kept my job for a while. So it wasn't like just cold turkey. So, and the thing is, when you have food on your table and when you have a roof over your head, then you're not desperate building your business. You can build your business in peace, and you can build it the way you want to build it, right? You're in
Smart.
control. And the way I'm growing my firm is, I know there's a lot of people out there with great skills who want to start their own businesses, but perhaps are either not in a position
Yeah.
to, or, it takes a lot. Maybe just don't want to, that effort. Then I'm like, you know what? Come. I'm building the umbrella. I'm doing everything, there's no difference between me and Deloitte and E&Y. I'm just smaller and newer and younger, but the dreams are there. So, come build, bring, if you bring clients, we'll work on them together, we'll share. And that way you don't have to go through that 2.5 years of 3 years of agony, well, even 4 or 5 years, because by the time you actually starting to, break even or bring home what you were bringing home, it takes some time, right? So that's how I'm building it. I'm saying, come, let's work together, build under the brand, build your own brand under my brand. I don't care. But I really believe in this economy, we need to get creative in terms of how to we don't have room for inefficiencies, really. That's what this is about, whether it's our business, whether it's how we grow our business. It really is about leveraging each other, in a good way,
Yes, definitely.
and building on each other's strengths. Mhm.
Definitely, definitely. I love the way you think. Like it's interesting because I run my business the exact same way. Like
Really.
I believe in that. And I actually haven't heard, I network with a lot of people and I haven't heard someone else that thinks the same way as me. So it's very
Mhm.
interesting to hear you how
And
you
it's
build
no
because
coincidence that we picked up and connected, right? Like they
exactly.
didn't. Yeah.
Exactly. But God, everyone that's watching, like take the advice because it's interesting. Like I have a friend, I do a show at 8 o'clock about personal development. And she talks about, you can go alone, but you can't grow alone. And her name is Kelly Chiasson. And I think that's kind of, the idea of how we're building and we're building together this empire. It sounds like what you were doing. And I do the same thing. And I just, I don't know how many others can relate. If you can relate, post in the comments because we would love to be able to connect with you. You never know, like where
Samantha,
people.
right? Because look, when we have employees, like,
Yeah,
how long is an employee going to help me build my business? Like,
exactly.
right? Like, really, why wouldn't he learn and then just go,
Exactly.
right? So I want to build that environment. Come learn, grow together, build together. So you never really feel the need to go because it's going to cost you a heck of a lot and a lot of headache to go and build on your own. So
Exactly.
I think it's just the right thing to do.
Exactly. Amazing. So can I ask you for the viewers, if someone wants to refer a client to you, because this is very important, like we know that there's many people in similar industries, but what type of clientele, who is your target client so that we could refer to you?
Absolutely. So, I never say like no to any client because people know people, right? So, and even these days, like personal situations are not that simple anymore because people have assets, right? People have homes. Some have multiple homes. So you may not even be in an official business, but there is complexity in just even managing our own personal finances. But of course, and the thing is, like, wow, if we can inspire the entrepreneur in you, then why not? You may not be the entrepreneur yet, but really, businesses, of course, small to medium-sized businesses, sort of where I'm at right now. Also, kind of, there's another term called micro, because there's a lot of people who are starting out right now in this environment. We know the freelance world is going crazy, right? Like, and so for those, I really believe, I was calling them COVID packages, special pricing COVID packages, just to get started, because I believe regardless of the size of your business, especially if you are starting out, if you build good practices and good habits, then you can build, right? If a lot of people will come and say, oh, I just want to register an incorporation and then go off and do their thing. And I'm not even doing that anymore. I will register your corporation, but please work with me, because the second you walk away, there's just not the discipline that comes from working with someone. So really, definitely, I have I'm helping business, I've got a company from China, a company from Japan, I've got, a company from Pakistan I'm helping grow over here. So no client is too small or too big, because I really believe life is complex these days and tax rules are not simple, right? Even from your, and Samantha, I believe, from the moment every event in our life, from the moment that you know, a baby's born or you have a baby to, as you're growing, you're planning and, your first home and have marriage, like every event in our life has a tax implication, believe it or not.
Yeah, I believe that. I do. Yeah.
It
Wow.
does, truly.
So you okay, so you talk so small to medium-sized businesses, it sounds like international businesses, right?
Oh,
So
and I mean local and international. So
yeah,
everybody's here who's, in these groups. So we're all starting businesses or have something. So, everything it's good. Let's just say, you know what, my 16 years were spent building a lot of experience and stuff, so I can handle it.
amazing, amazing. So if anyone has a tax question or a question about accounting, they could come to you and
Absolutely.
you would talk to them about that, right?
Yeah, complimentary consultation, no problem at all. Absolutely.
Amazing. What's the best way for people to reach out to you? Because that's always a question. Like, I know some people like to interact on social media. Some people say, come to, give me a call, go to my website, fill out a form. What's the best way that someone could interact with you?
you know, Sometimes people say to me, "Oh my God, your phone number is all over the internet." And I'm like, you know what? That's okay. That's unconscious. If you're in business, you got to be reachable. There's nothing more annoying than calling office lines and nobody gets back to you, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, my number is right there on the website. We have a consultation form people can fill out, like literally I'm sure between text, WhatsApp messages, messenger messages, LinkedIn messages, emails,
Yeah.
I'm checking them all the time. So the phone number is there, the email is there, the website's there for a form, you know, message in these groups, just reach out, message in these group, it's fine. And there's so much advice we can give, like, somebody asks a question in the group, like we can give high level information, but obviously I need to know your personal situation. I need to know your thing. So, I'm more than happy to book a call and just address any questions that people may have without a problem.
Can I ask you, what's the number one question that you get? I'm just curious. What do people ask you all the time and they get confused? Like, what do you find is a hot topic right now?
What's a hot topic? So first of all, when people are getting into business, like, there's always that question of, should I incorporate or not incorporate? That's definitely one, right? And then really a couple of the really important, there's a couple of important things happening right now. Everybody's in the real estate market, right? So there's lots of people who are buying real estate. They want to know how best to plan acquiring that real estate. Do I acquire it in my own name? Do I set up a company? So, that structuring is really important. The other one is like when people do have corporations, it's like, do I pay myself salary or do I, pay myself dividends? That's sort of another hot one. And I really think, like I said, within each one of those, like I would say there's no perfect answer to when you should incorporate. There are times people will come to me and say, I want to incorporate. And after I look at the whole situation, I'm like, I think you can wait a few months, or I think you can wait till, because with that, while it's good, there's lots of, benefits to it. There comes cost as well, right? With everything, the registering, the maintaining and stuff. I'm not against incorporations, not at all. We have some great structures that we're working with, but it's really person specific. And so those are, do those sound familiar, Samantha? Is that
All the
what you hear
time.
sometimes?
Those are the questions that I get too.
Right.
It's interesting because a lot of small businesses, they just don't know, right? So this is a good question for anybody that's here that's a small business or even a medium-sized business. You really have to talk to an accountant. Like I'll tell you, I had to research and talk to many accountants before I started my business. So we should all take the opportunity to speak to an accountant, and there's one right here, and ask her, what is the benefit, what are the cost implications, like you said, because it's not just you come running out of the gate, hey, I'm going corporate. It's not that simple, right? And I know from a legal standpoint, people ask me, but I'm not gonna. That's a different show. So come ask the questions, and like we have to set the foundation now, right? We have to do this correctly from the beginning, if we can.
And that's another thing, Samantha. So one of the things that happen is when people first start up. So I'm talking about the micros, the startups, right? People will say, and we build bad habits of going to the accountant at the end of the year, and then you want me to save you tax. My hands are tied because the timelines for when we could have done some of the planning have passed by that time, right? And so a lot of people will say, well, I'm so new, I don't even have a lot of activity, a lot of entries every month. Do I really need? And I don't like, to be honest, I don't like the term bookkeeping. You're not coming to me for just bookkeeping, it's accounting. Okay, the bookkeeping is just putting things places. Because and basically behind every transaction, there's an accounting rule, So I say use that time. I've designed really, because I think I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I'm a CA, but I'm an entrepreneur at heart. You name it. And when I was, having my kids and sort of raising the family, you name it, I did it. Okay, so I could do, be with my kids at that same time. So I say use that early time. Sure, and we have great monthly packages, so we can make it affordable. But use that time to do the planning. Like I have a young gentleman who's great consulting business, making lots of money. And at this time, there may not be a lot of transactions going on, right? But you see, the thing is, we spend our time like talking and planning, right? So I'm like, okay, you want access to me? I can do a couple of free consultations, but obviously, we all have a business to run, right?
Yes.
So it's like using that early time. And the other thing that happens, Nanda, is like, when people are starting businesses, they'll set a budget for, marketing, they'll set a budget for, just travel, all sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
But you'll notice that the accounting or that professional services budget is almost likely never there other than the year-end tax return, right? And and I think that's where my goal is, like I call it becoming tax efficient, right? push as much as you can within the rules. I like to keep my clients, carefully aggressive, right, within the rules, because I want you to sleep at night and I want to be able to sleep at night. And that just requires good planning, early on planning.
Would you suggest that that is like getting the money to work for them? Because we're always working for money all the time, working. But finding when you in the planning process, are you also implementing a way that they can get the money to work for them so they can actually use the money and have fun
So
and
here's the thing. Here's the thing. If we're not tracking what we're doing, first of all, we have no idea if we're profitable, what business, what our business is doing, right? And
right,
I have a great client today. She's a daycare center. She said, Asifa, I now want to start to look at, we're getting the numbers right is not an option. CRA expects you to get the numbers right, right?
exactly.
It really is not about whether your numbers are right. Now it becomes more about what are your numbers saying? Which of your service lines is more profitable? She's like, I want to see how much I'm spending on food for the kids. I want to see how much I'm spending on gas. I want to see how much I'm spending just so, which of my class sizes are bringing in more revenue. So it really then becomes about managing your business. First of all, if we're not tracking and using software and stuff to track, you have no idea how much money is leaking out the door because we're not tracking, probably lose half your receipts, just like, right? So I mean, just from the get-go, if we're tracking, we're probably saving so much money just because we're tracking everything, right? I'm like, we got to stop the bleeding before we can get steady and then start the growth.
Yeah.
So I absolutely think that's what it's about. And actually, so right now, the way I'm trying to grow is rather than bring on a ton of customers, I'm going to take the ones I have and, select, people who really want to work on it, right? And now get into their business. You mentioned, software, Samantha, like, my goodness, sorry.
That's okay. So you're talking about the from a paralegal or legal standpoint, we have softwares, and I'm sure
Right.
in every profession that they do. And I guess that's a question that I always ask when I have an accountant now, but that was the question when I was interviewing people. I'm like, do you know how to use the software? And if someone said to me, no, I have no idea what this is, I'm like, it kind of made me nervous. So what's your thought on that? Do you have to have
My thought is that doesn't matter what industry you're in, because I know what I need from the software. Every software has a section that says reports, because I know what I need, and that really is the important thing. I guess the experience that comes from having my background is I know exactly what I need in terms of, every business has, like, they call them key performance indicators, monitoring your performance measures. So, and softwares are generally set up like that to track those things that are important. So I will, and right now I think I've got clients who've got, there's a gym, there's another number of CRMs, right? So when we do our Zoom calls, I say, okay, let's go into your software, right? Let's go into your software, because rather than us trying to create things in QuickBooks or the accounting software, why not see what your software has that can integrate with, because your software is always obviously doing something to help you manage your business.
Definitely.
And we need to reflect that in the accounting. So I really, whether it's a lawyer or doctors or, whatever, it doesn't matter, because I know what I'm looking for. Okay. I know why you have the software, and I know what we need to track your business. So it's really not an issue. It's kind of exciting because, and here's the other thing. Most people, when they have their softwares, they're not even using them to their full extent.
That's true.
So I went in with my gym client. We went into her, I think it's Perfect Mind or Perfect Body or something. We went into her and I was like, okay, let's see where this is happening, how this is happening. She's like, I didn't know I could do all this in here. Yeah. And often people are spending a lot of money on those CRM, like, customer relationship management type softwares or those upfronts, and not even using them to their full extent. So it's really kind of creating a partnership, working together, and growing together. When you make more money, you're going to pay me more.
That's amazing. Well, it's true. Yeah, if you're helping them and then they can see that. I mean, people pay for the service that when they see the value in it. And I mean, people have to understand the value that's provided. And you actually just provided us a ton of value here in this interview. So I appreciate you being here. Again, thank you for engaging in this group, Canadian and US business social share. We're going to keep doing some watch parties on this video to get it some engagement. Everyone like, share, comment, make sure that you show the love. Go over to the website, and you have a Facebook page too, and I didn't put that in. I'm going to put the Facebook page in the comment section. But again, I'm here with Asifa. Did I say your name right? No, Asifa.
Asifa, no problem.
Asifa.
It's fine.
Asifa, yeah, I'm here with Asifa Baig. And again, she's from Gen Next Chartered Professional Accountants. Check her out. Her website is posted above or beside the video. I'm going to post her Facebook page. Please make sure you go and like the page, show the love. And if you know anybody that needs some help, or you have a question, go talk to her. Like, it's better to ask the questions than make the mistakes, right? So.
And I just like to know who's out there, because, we all are in business. I have clients, you have clients. We can, we help each other, right? We don't even know, it just happens seamlessly after a while.
I agree with you. I definitely do. So
absolutely.
Thank you again so much for being here. Thanks for everybody out there that's watching, and keep liking and sharing and interacting. Have a wonderful night, everybody.